Good morning. Horrible human beings. The Dream Edition. When I was in fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Traynham, and she was super teacher, super teacher. Um, but what stick out the most all these years later is she made us memorize a poem from Langston Hughes, "A Dream Deferred," and I remember like, why do I got to do this? What does this have to do with anything? And looking back on it, that's not even part of the curriculum, I'm sure. But I realized that's just something Miss Trainham was getting us to do. So I memorized it, and I can't remember what happened at the end of the week from memorizing it. Time goes on. But I do remember that the last line of the poem was, "Or does it die?" And it's crazy. All these years later, 30 plus something years, what would make a woman teach a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds what happens to a dream deferred? And I have no point of reference back then, but now, 30 some years later, I know what happens to a dream deferred. I, all types of things. Sometimes that dream gets locked up. Sometimes that dream gets drunk and intoxicated. Sometimes that dream start doing heroin. Sometimes that dream gets shot. Sometimes that dream gets stabbed. Sometimes that dream have all the potential in the world and does nothing with it. Sometimes that dream just stays a dream. Sometimes it's frozen. Sometimes that dream starves. There's so many things that can happen that a dream is just a dream. And it's almost, it doesn't get deferred so much as it gets muted, or better yet, you wake up. But then it made me think that so often, the more people you know, the more situations, circumstances you've been in, I realized that there's a lot of folks that was born in the nightmares, and you look up years later, sometime later, and they living their dreams, and there got to be a correlation to that. Never stopping, never going on, never muting yourself, or holding yourself back. Sometimes dreams is all that anybody have. Whether you're 9, 10 years old in fifth grade, or you 35, 40 years old, still trying to make the grade, still trying to make it happen. But I'll say this: you could teach a man to build a car. I could teach you to build a computer. I could teach you to build a skyscraper. But one thing that you never can do, you can't teach someone to dream. And it take a lot of years to see the value in that. But just as much as learning to dream, what I'm finding out is the dream can't survive on its own. It take the work, and part of what the work is, at least for me and for my dreams that I saw, because sometimes that dream evolves, is dealing with truth and honesty, and it's real hard to find people that are really truthful and honest, because that is what'll get the dream into motion and get it into gear and make it happen. But shout out, salute to Miss Trainham for teaching a whole bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds about dreaming and what will happen when it's deferred. It's that lesson is definitely invaluable. Horrible human beings, a subsidiary of the Dirtbag Deli. Y'all be safe.